So, right, hey guys, welcome back to our March powwow. Super excited. How this come about? I know we wasn't actually planned to have one for like another week, I think nearly 2 weeks. And I rang Laura and I was like, I miss doing our 2 weekly trainings. And she was like, yeah, me too. And I was like, I can't hack it. I feel like it's too long to go without doing any training. So we're back doing 2 weekly, guys. You've got us every 2 weeks. You can come along to what you can come to. You know, you don't have to have your camera on. You can come in your pajamas. You are welcome to have your cameras off and have your headphones in, whatever works for you. Obviously, catching them live, I personally think is better for your business than catching up. But if you've got to catch them up, then that's what you've got to do as well. So,
Yeah.
we are very grateful that so many of you are giving up your time to be with us tonight and talk about finding new customers because I feel like it's like what everybody wants. Everybody wants new customers. Who needs new customers? How many new customers have you all had this month? Put in the chat. Be honest, doesn't matter if it's a big fat zero. I think mine is two off the top of my head. Emma London, 11.
11, Emma. Love it.
It was
Amazing.
a party though.
Um,
It was a party.
It was a party. Well, we're going to talk about that. So you
Good.
know that don't
Yeah.
don't be downplaying the party, Emma London. Don't you're doing the tasks. It just goes to show one party, 11 new customers. Wow.
Amazing. Mine is two as well.
Yeah, that is amazing. So we are going to talk about tonight how to find more customers and bring new customers into your business because there are so many of you. Look, Claire Larkin, 14, thanks to 13 from a party. Amazing. We know that I probably every time I speak to somebody new, every time I speak to you guys in private messages when it's one to one, the same question is coming back over and over again. I need to find new customers. I need to find new customers. I feel like that's the line. If I heard that line every single time and we got a pound for every time someone said that, we would not need to sell Scentsy. We really wouldn't. So I like we just both thought like, do you know what? This needs to be like the forefront of where we're going at the moment, especially with the bingo coming out because there are some big, hairy, scary amounts on there and things on there that you guys might be like, do you know what? I'm not going to be able to hit a line on the bingo if I don't find a new customer because I've asked all my customers to join. None of them want to join right now. And to get a line on the bingo, you do need a teammate. So, and it might even not even be that. For you, it might just be, do you know what? I am struggling to hit my 200 and we are going to 250 PRV that we need next month. So new customers is going to help you bounce that extra 50 PRV. Or maybe you're in a situation ship where you actually have been very close to hitting the 2000 mark. And actually now you would like the 2500. Laura, I'm high-fiving to you because I'm just going to set up a ring light because
Cool. I was going to say, where you go. And the thing is, guys, whether, like Lucy's just said, obviously we've got the bingo there, which is the focus. And just remember, everything that Scentsy does, there's a reason behind it, okay? They know what they're doing. That is built with structure and all the things are on there. Now, I know, you might look at that and think, oh my God, but honestly, I promise you, with the timescales that they've given us, finding new customers, whether it's for sponsoring, finding new customers is where it all starts because it just strips it all back to relationship building and networking, and that is what we are. We're a network marketing business, okay? So everything comes from finding new customers, and whether that's in line, on person, where all the various places we're going to talk about tonight where you can find new customers or you might have the opportunity to find new customers. I'm going to give you one line which has stuck in my brain since I started in network marketing nearly 11 years ago. And this was actually somebody in my previous company that I remember her saying this to me. If your mouth is closed, so is your business. And that is whether it is in person, in a message, in a WhatsApp, in an email, whatever it may be. You need to remember if you are not opening your mouth and talking to people about Scentsy, your business will not grow. So that's a little line just to think of before we start.
Okay. So what I want to add to the starting point is something that's really, really important. And I'm not going to go and talk about goal setting and all of that jazz and mindset and all of that. We're not going to talk about that. But you do need to have a new customer goal every single month. And
Yeah.
I think I feel like we set goals for PRV, we set goals for sponsoring conversations, we set goals for how many parties can we have? We set goals for I want to give out samples or I want to make sure I've given out so many sample packs. But actually, one of the probably the most important goals we should be setting ourselves is how many new people can we actually talk to and give Sensi to and turn into a customer? How many new connections can we make in the course of a month? So if you've never done this, I want you to set yourself a goal and make it realistic, a goal of how many new customers you would like this month. Now, my new customer goal is always 10. It always is 10. That's always my goal. Some months I hit it, some months I don't hit it by far. And some months, I might only find 3 or 4 new customers, but it may well be that on that month, I flip my focus on sponsoring, or I was really, channeling annual sales or something along those lines. So it kind of takes away from the finding new customers. But especially for those of you that are wanting to sponsor, this was my thought process like this week, right? I have just put out some sponsoring messages, and I've got a lady that said yes, that is in the process of filling in her paperwork tonight. And another customer actually come back to me on my email and said yes today. Now, both of those customers bring me probably about 200 PRV a month between them, right? So I have got to replace that 200 PRV some way, shape, or form. Because if I don't replace that, I'm going to find it hard to get my 2,500. So that's my own personal goal. So, for example, if one of your customers joins, you might then find that your PRV drops slightly because that person was a big buyer. So you've got to have a system in place where you're continually looking for new customers. And if you're not sponsoring, you've probably got to look at it from the point of view, okay, well, what about if Sally down the road doesn't buy this week? How are we going to replace that? Because you can't expect the same people to buy from you every single month in, month out. And some of us do. Some of us do.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to add on, as Lisa said that. Like, even if you've got like what you might deem as a really big customer base, not every single person is going to buy. If I looked through my customer base, there are some people who like literally have bought from me ever since I've been a consultant. They're like your ride or dies. But you're going to have some people that will like buy for a season and then they'll stop and then they'll disappear off the face of the earth and then they might come back in like 6 months. You're going to have people that maybe will buy for a little while and their car will break or something else will happen or their cousin might join. So then they end up buying from them. You cannot just rely on the same customers all the time because your business is never going to grow that way. But that is also, you need to understand that that's normal. That's not just you. If you've got a customer base that all of a sudden you've got all these people buying, you think, oh, amazing. And then like half of them stop, that's no reflection on you. That is just the nature of the business. And it happens to all of us. Sometimes I'll follow up with people. And I always, even if people haven't replied, I still follow up with them. If somebody has bought Sensi from me, they get a follow-up. Okay. Until it's only ever happened once in 8 years that somebody's actually said, like, can you not message me anymore, please? But then she came back and did buy again when I advertised my personal profile. But what I mean is some people will come back to you all the time and then they'll just stop replying. And again, that's normal. So don't ever think it's just you. Like, it happens to all of us, but it's why it's so important to keep replenishing that customer base.
It's got to be done. So that's the first thing. You must set yourself a goal. Now, some of these things that we're going to talk about, that I was talking to Georgie about this week. There's nothing revolutionary here. Me and Laura are not going to give you anything that's like, oh my God, that is literally like a game changer. Tomorrow I'm going to be able to go and find 20 new customers that way. A lot of what we're going to be telling you is stuff that you've already heard before, or you've heard us harp on about, and say, but sometimes we just need a reminder, and we need a reminder to hear how it's being done today, because it may well be that it's being done a little bit differently today. So what the first thing I wrote down was looking for a referral system. If you haven't got one, it should be your top priority, bar partying or anything else, because if you give somebody good customer service. So one of my customers rang me today. One of my customers is like, I could say this about her and I'm sure she wouldn't care. She's a little bit extra in terms of that she will always be the one, and those of you that are in my customer group will know who this is, okay? She will always post. She spends a hell of a lot of money with me. She doesn't join. Yeah, she doesn't want to join. She absolutely loves Sensi. She rang me today. She said to me, Lisa, I've just got to tell you this. I appreciate your service that you give so much. She said, I love how my orders all turn up. She said, I love what you put into your business. She said, I love how all of my orders, she said, you give amazing customer service. She said, I watch you in your customer group. And she said, it's very special. And I was like, wow, wow. But for that reason, she's very happy to share on her social media about me all the time. I've had probably 2 new customers off of the back of it, and I'm sure there will be more. Give it time, there will be more. And that has purely come by because of the type of service I give her. She spends a hell of a lot of money with me, so I give her a lot of like freebies. Last month, I rather than setting her up a shopping link because she does lots of individual small orders, I gave her one of my half prices, and she wanted she got two half prices actually. She wanted a Sensi, it's not called that anymore, is it? The quad linen, whatever you want to call it. I'm
Listen,
still calling it linen, right? She wanted one of those, yeah. And I said to her, do you know what? You're not going to pay full price for it. You've been such a good customer to me. And I took the hit on not having the PRV on that, not getting the commission on it. I gave her it as a half price. And but in that month, when I went back and added up what she had spent with me, she had probably spent near on £150 with me, maybe more. So, and this is a monthly occurrence. She's already rang me today and said she wants the cute as a button warmer and the wild for wildflowers. She went, I don't know if it's what you did. She went, did you buy them on purpose? She went, because you've ruined me. She went, you're ruining me with a new catalogue. And I was like, well, this is what I'm very good at what I do. So if you haven't got a referral system in place that's linked to your customer service, some of you are giving amazing customer service, right? But you've got no way of saying giving back to your customers when they refer you on to somebody new. So when she referred me on to her sister-in-law, when her sister-in-law places her first order, she will get Gaynor will get a wax bar for free. That's as complicated as I make it. I don't have like tiers or anything like that because as soon as it gets complicated, I forget what I'm doing.
me
A lot
too.
of people have seen me do things where I go, right, I'm going to do this month, and then I don't stick to it because I make things too complicated. So my referral system is literally as simple as that. But people don't know about it if you don't tell them about it. And telling them isn't posting it in your Facebook group. Okay. I can't post that they can get a free wax bar anyway because that's personal special. I have physically got to tell people that. So, how many of you have got a referral system? And then how many of you actually inbox, follow up that Laura said, inbox, go into your customers' inboxes and tell them, do you know I've got a referral system? You can get a free bar of wax if you refer a friend to me. How many of you do that?
Let us know in the comments.
Such a simple thing. How many of you block time out in your week to do it once a week? So you're not going to remind people like every single day. Okay, so here we go. We're seeing that. I don't do this enough. I'm terrible at this. I never thought of it. Okay, this is going to be your number one thing that you're going to work on this month. This is going to be the first thing you're going to do. Okay, I want every single person to come up with a very simple referral system. Mine is literally they get a free bar of wax. I've got enough wax here in this little stash. You can't see it over here, but I've got a lot of wax here. That I can give somebody a free bar. I don't let them choose the bar or anything like that. I just give them a bar that I think they would love. Now, if you haven't got wax to give away, then why not do a sample pack? You can be like, I give a really nice sample pack. I give a really nice gift.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to.
Charlotte's just said, and I don't mean to like, because a lot of people say this, and we've said this in the past, and I don't mean to highlight that, but Charlotte, when you've just said like, I'm not very good at messaging, the only way you get good at something is by doing it more. And I mean, everything obviously I share is with love, but you have to, like Lisa said at the beginning, this isn't a mindset training. But if you say to myself, I can do this, I can follow up, it's just a question. They're not gonna like, you're not asking them to like sign their life away. So I promise you, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it. Like block out, like Lisa said, put a timer on, 10 minutes, do some follow up. You'll get, the more you do that consistently, you will get
It
better at
doesn't
it.
have to be complicated. And I'm gonna now tie in trainings from Sunday. Get on ChatGPT, get it to
Yes.
write for you. Just ask ChatGPT to write you a 3-line message that's very short, very quick, very to the point, but fun and not salesy, telling someone that you've got a referral system. Go and get the message on ChatGPT and set yourself, make a list of all your customers and be
Yeah.
like, right, over the course of the next month or 2 months, I'm going to message every person on this list. And it can be the same message. It doesn't have to be that you're going to personalize it for Kelly, personalize it for Zoe, personalize it for Laura. You can if you want to, but why? Why? There's no need for it. You can copy and paste that. Just put their name on it. That's the only thing I would do. It's like, hi Zoe, I hope you're well. Did you know I've got a referral system?
I just want to show you today, guys. Now, when we say doing follow up and people said that they don't follow up, What you got to remember is you are providing a service, and think about it in this way. Like, but I just want to show you. Obviously, I'm going to hold this back so you can't actually see people. Well, when we say like you have to sometimes do a quick 20-minute blast of follow up, don't overthink it, and you are going to get a lot of people not reply to you. I'm just going to show you today. That light's really bright, but basically, all these people. So there's probably 40 people got the same message. I've had 2 orders from that follow up. So you need to understand, some people are going to read it, feed their kids, put their kids to bed, to never reply to you. It's okay. It's just like them getting an email from Next or an email from H&M. And I promise you, when you start to think of yourself as a business owner and do the follow-up, your business will change. I promise you, like, don't be scared of it.
Do you know what, as well? I think when it comes to referrals, you start with that warm market, the people you feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
But I feel like what we do, and I do this. Sometimes I will say, like to a customer today, I will say something like, "Oh, have you got any friends or family you want to add into my customer group or that might want to order?" Actually, I'm more likely to say no to that. But if I turn around and say to somebody, "Did you know I've got a referral system?" Or "Did you know I give away a free bar of wax if any of your friends or family order with me?" What are you more likely to say yes to? I know that if someone tells me I'm going to get something in return for doing something, I'm more likely to do it. Whereas if somebody said to me, "Oh, you can add your friends and family into my customer group if you like," too fluffy. They need the instruction of what to do, or incentivizing. For me, it's the incentivizing. Like if someone tells me I'm going to get something free if I refer somebody, I'm all over that. I'm like, right, hold on.
All you're
I
out
want
of
free shit.
yeah, yeah. So today, so I'm just going to give you an example today, right? So, some of you would have seen there's a brand called Jim and Coffee that Lisa and I both bought the fleeces a while ago, and I am not buying clothes at the moment. I'm saving for things, but I got an email today from Jim and Coffee, and I was like, no, 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 don't open it. You don't need it. But it said something like get a free something. So I opened the email. I didn't buy it, but what I'm saying is I did open the email because there was something in there that was enticing me. So Alexander just said in there, I don't open those emails, I bin them. That is correct. A lot of people will do that, or a lot of people will ghost you if we're putting it into Sensi context. But from the thousands and thousands of people that next email, they're going to get 1 or 2 that open them. So that was just like an example. But like Katrina's just said, she sent 60 messages Sunday night and she got 3 orders. So
I,
honestly, it's just
I tend not to send stuff by email like that because I think it's a waste of an email sending about a referral system. I'm
oh
like,
sorry, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I'm
I
sorry,
know. I'm
yeah,
just
yeah,
saying,
yeah,
I'd rather get right in the nitty gritty,
yeah,
get in their inbox, WhatsApp them, text me. I'm
yeah.
not text. I don't text message. I don't use my texts. It's simple. If you text me, you won't get a response for at least about 3 weeks. I'm not gonna lie because I don't open them because whenever text message for me, the only people that text me are like your bank. You are overdrawn today, and I'm like, don't want to read that. Don't want to see that. So
Bye-bye.
the only people that reply, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not looking at that. So yeah, I literally get in people's inboxes, use their name. And if you're not doing that, this is a really good way where you can find new customers. You just need to decide what your referral system looks like for you. Like everybody's could look slightly different. Remember, if you're giving away a free gift, it's going to be a personal special, which is really, you can't put that publicly. I have talked about referral programs in my customer group, and I just say you will get a free gift from me. That's all I leave it as, and you can get away with that. You can get away with that. So, that's just something to think about. Or did you have a point? Do you want to go next?
No, well, yeah, I can. I've got
Yes.
different points. Do you want to move on to the next topic, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, basically, like we said at the beginning, you every day in your life, you are interacting with human beings, whether that's wherever you go, whether you go to work, whether every day you're interacting with humans. And somebody said at the beginning, forgive me, I can't see who it was, somebody put in the comments that this week was the first time that they had told somebody, when somebody asked what they did for a living, they told them not about their job, but they told them they were a Sensi consultant. Now, if you are not telling people about Sensi, if you had like a traditional shop, like think about it this way, I do, just to put a little side note. So I do work my business on social media. I do follow up. But from a networking perspective, I am like, oh, I was gonna say I'm old. I am old, but I'm old school, as in like you need to be proud of being a Sensi consultant and you need to tell people. And if you don't tell people you're a Sensi consultant or about Sensi, they're never gonna know. So that's what I need you to start getting in your mind, is that when you are interacting with other human beings in your day-to-day life, you need to be talking to them about Scentsy. You need to be telling them you're a Scentsy consultant. You need to be dropping it into conversation. You need to be, if somebody, there's a few examples I'm going to give you in a moment. But if you're somewhere and there's a bit, a bit of a stink, you need to say to them, "Oh my God, like Scentsy can fix that." We've got a stinky cupboard in our gym, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. I just say I'm a stay-at-home mum. You are not. You are a business owner. You are a Scentsy consultant. Just yesterday, I went to see my new teammate, and she is a stay-at-home mummy. She's got a little girl who is about 18 months, and she wanted to join Scentsy as something for her. Today, I've seen her go to a playgroup, and then I felt like a proud mum. She's posted on her stories, "Ping! I've got PWS order," while I was at playgroup.
Love that.
But what I mean is, she's obviously gone and talked to somebody about Scentsy at the playgroup. I said to her, "Make sure you take your whiff bag." So I'm assuming that's what she did. I messaged her to say, like, "Well done for the order." But you need to make sure wherever you're going, if you're going out of the house and then borrow bags are not out, take those whiff bags everywhere with you. Make sure people know that you are a Scentsy consultant. If you're carrying your Scentsy stuff, make sure it's in a clear bag, or it's where people can see it and where people can talk about it. If I take it right back to the beginning of my Scentsy journey, I had about 25,000 jobs when I started. One of them was a waitress. And I used to work in Ask in Chelmsford. If any of you know where that is, I used to work a couple of evenings and a long shift on a Sunday. And every Sunday, I remember I would take my bag, I would leave it in the staff room, and that shift was over like a double shift. And I literally just used to leave catalogues, and people that were like changing over their shift, I'd go in there and they'd all be like having a little smell of the whiff pots. And every single week, I came home with orders. So if you work somewhere with human beings with noses, doesn't have to be women, men love Scentsy too. You need to make sure you're taking your whiff pots. If you're going to meet your friend for a coffee, if you're going somewhere, make sure you're talking about Scentsy. Just this week, no, we're in a new week now. Just last week, I actually went to meet up with somebody who's an estate agent. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But while I was in there, I'd taken my Scentsy with me. I had my whiff bags. I'd had this basket up on the side to talk to him about it. And actually, the owner of the cafe where I was, she'd brought our drinks over, and you could see her like having a little nose. A couple of days later, I went back in with Dan. It's a bit of a new place. We went back. And I went in with the intention, I took a catalogue and I took a card and I took a scent circle with the intention to speak to the owner. And as soon as I mentioned it, she said, "Oh," she said, "you were in here the other day." She said, "Like, you had all those little pots out that looked like lip balms." And I was like, "Yeah, they're not lip balms." Anyway, so what I mean is, these were places that I was going already. So just make sure that you are taking Scentsy with you, talking about Scentsy, talking about it in conversation. Make it just part of like who you are. I know by now, like I just do it naturally without even thinking about it. But you need to make sure that you are letting the world know that you're a Scentsy consultant. And I promise you, even after all of these years, and Lisa will tell you this as well, like we still find people all the time that have never tried Scentsy. Like, don't think that like everyone's got a Scentsy consultant. There are loads and loads of people out there. One that have either never tried Scentsy, or two that had a Scentsy consultant who's now stopped doing it and has just stopped buying because they don't know who to buy from. Just recently I've had a customer who came through my PWS. She'd found me on Scentsy.com. But I literally walk past her house all the time when I'm walking my dog. And when I dropped her other order off that she'd ordered, I had a nice little chat on her doorstep, and she said, "Oh, my son's girlfriend lives in Southend. She used to do it. She stopped doing it." And then she was like, "I didn't buy anything for like 6 months, and I had all these warmers." So what I'm saying is there's a lot of people out there who are not being serviced, is that the right term? Not, don't have a consultant at the moment. So make sure that you are always, honestly, I'm going to stop for a moment and let you pick up because I've got a few other examples I could give, but just always make sure you've got your like Scentsy hat on and you are proud. If people ask what you do, make sure you tell them.
100%. So like this, just one example of something that I've been doing a lot lately is I made up a lot of samples that are very basic. They've just got a business card, one very thin, tiny sliver sample on the back. And then I also take out with me in my car. It's becoming like a bit of a thing now where I actually have them in my bag. is I have a couple of scent circles that normally I've got. These are just out my drawer, so they're not ready yet.
Yeah, me too.
But
Yeah.
they have a sticker and a business card on them. So, for example, went to McDonald's the other day, last week. Had a few McDonald's last week, maybe the week before. Um, McDonald's is a bit like my guilty pleasure. Like, if anyone knows me, I love a chicken sandwich and chips. Like, my chicken sandwich and chips is like my little guilty pleasure. Anyway, I digress. As I was going through the drive-through, I was served by a young lady that she was probably about 19, 20 maybe. And she was just really personable, really lovely, really smiley. And she was like, as it was only me in the queue, there was no one else about. It was dead quiet. And I was like, do you know what? You've been so lovely. I literally gave her a Scentsy sample. I thought nothing of it. I thought I can't follow up with these. The samples that I've been giving out are really tiny. They're literally for just giving out to people on the go. I gave one to her and one to there was another lady that was working on the second checkout. Anyway, I got home that night, didn't think I'm sitting there minding my own business. Suddenly I get a new follower on Instagram. She messaged me and she said, "Hi Lisa, I hope you're well. Thank you so much for the Scentsy sample you gave me today. I absolutely love it." So I went back to her and said, "Oh, would you like a full sample pack?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'd absolutely love one. Haven't sent it yet. I've literally got it ready to go tomorrow." So she will be getting a brand new sample pack, and that literally come off the back of samples. Now, I've given out lots of samples before and not had any return on it, but I actually said to her, feel free to drop me a follow on Instagram
Yeah.
because I thought to myself, okay, she's going to be young. It's got my Instagram on there. She's probably going to be on Instagram, not on Facebook. The second lady, I asked her, "Oh, have you tried Scentsy before?" She was more like my age. So I said, "Have you tried Scentsy before?" She said, "Oh, yeah, I've heard of it." She was like, "I don't have a consultant anymore, though." I was like, brilliant. She hasn't come back to me. But thought process is if I can get this other young lady, Alex, to take my bag into work, that lady might order. So it's a really really simple thing that you can do. Okay, these are just like having Scentsy on you while you're out and about, being brave enough. That was quite like I had to be brave, had to put my good big girl pants. That didn't feel particularly comfortable for me, giving her that while I'm paying for my McDonald's, and I've been doing this a long time. Laura, very comfortable doing shit like that all the time. Okay, Lisa, not so comfortable doing stuff like that. I had to channel my inner Laura. But what I am saying to you is, this is where you've got to be thinking, okay, where am I going that I can give
Yeah.
people samples? Because I can guarantee you're probably seeing lots of people, like I know that Nick, I'm sure she said she went to B&M or the range today. I think she said she went to the range. Did you give samples when you was there? Did you go down I would have left one of these in the candle aisle, 100%. There's always something you can do to find new people while you're out and about and you're speaking to people. So
Weirdly enough, I've just had a message from a lady who she's actually on my list to talk to you about how I networked with her, but she's actually just sent me a message on WhatsApp, kind of a bit similar down the lines to where Lisa was saying about what her customer said to her today. So this is somebody where, if you're in my team group, you've heard this story, I do apologize. But basically, last year, me and my family went glamping to some glamping pod things. And when I booked it, I'd booked it on like cottages.com or something. The woman had messaged me. Obviously, we'd had a few messages back and forth on WhatsApp. She'd sent me a confirmation email. I'd replied. Obviously, my email sign off says Scentsy Superstar Director, and my WhatsApp says, I don't even know what it says, but it says something about Scentsy in there. So obviously, we've conversed a little bit. And then I just started to like have a conversation with her. I'll see if I can go right back to the beginning. But basically, I said to her, like, have you ever heard of Scentsy? Once I'd started to build a relationship with her. And I found it. Let me find what she said. Right. This was literally, she'd sent me the information of the booking, and I said, thank you so much. I'm going to bring with me and leave you some samples from my business as a thank you. Have you ever heard of Scentsy? That's all I said. And then she came back and said, "That's so kind. I haven't actually. I've been Googling it as the name came up on your email." So then from that point on, a relationship was built and we started to talk about Scentsy. Before I'd even gone there, so by that point, I followed her on Instagram. She followed me on Instagram, like Lisa just said, obviously start to build that relationship on social media. Before I even went to stay, she'd placed an order on my website, a couple of orders actually. And she actually ended up joining as a consultant. She hasn't done a lot. I think she's kind of decided just to go back to being my customer. But that is a relationship. And tonight she's actually messaged me because she's seen a nice post on Instagram about like positivity and that kind of thing. And she's just sent me a message saying, I saw this and it really made me think of you because you're always a little light in my life. And I'm just like, but that is from relationship building. And she still buys. She bought in the last sale. She bought the Easter what was it? Was it a plug-in that was in the sale? I can't remember. There was like a little Easter bunny something.
No idea.
I can't remember, but there was quite a few people bought them. But what I mean is, she always like she'll share, she'll tag me in stuff. She's referred people to me, so I've given her a referral gift. Somebody else that lives in her village, but again, that somebody that I was conversing with in my everyday life, not in person at that point, I just said to her, as a thank you for your customer service, I'd like to bring you a sample from my business. Talk about being a business owner. Have you heard of Cincy? And she hadn't. So again, just think about like networking opportunities. And now we've got a friendly relationship. She's sending me positive quotes off Instagram, which is lovely.
I think it's really important for you guys to be thinking about like, okay, what else am I doing in my life where I could say,
Yeah.
oh, hold on a minute, could I give you a free sample? Because that's like habit stacking, right? You want to be doing is the natural things you're already doing in your life. How can you add Scentsy into that? Because, you know, you're probably seeing and doing things all the time where actually there are people that could be buying and you just haven't thought about it. So you've got to get these goggles on, you've got to get those thinking goggles on. And it may well be that you're like, Laura, I've done all of these things. I need customers that are further afield. I need customers that are not local. And that's where your referral system is really going to come into play
Yeah.
because that's going to be where you need to say to people, I'm looking for customers that are not local. Like, are you having those conversations? Are you asking people if they know someone that lives in Manchester and you're in Essex? Do you know anyone that lives in Scotland? Like that customer I was telling you about earlier is from Scotland. So she's not even a local customer to me. She's not local. So this is something you've really got to be sort of have your eyes and ears open all the time. Some of you are going on holidays in the UK. Like you could use that as an example of what Laura's just given you there and turn that into, are you speaking to the owner of the home? Is it somebody that like from Verbo or, is there places you go? Just an example, like today. So this is something I've done today. Laura shared this morning about scent packs and how amazing they are. And I got very excited about this because suddenly, I don't know why, yesterday, no creative juices whatsoever. I was having a very bad brain fog day. Okay. Nothing went my way yesterday at all. And do you know what? I probably just needed to switch off. But I didn't. I plowed through. Today, creative juices are going. Actually, going to tell you, I was having a wee at the time when this came about. So, and I was like, oh my God, it was like as if everything just fell into place. And Laura messaged on our gym chat about scent packs and about how they make your gym bag smell good. We gave the gym bought some scent packs at Christmas. They all went in all the coaches' bags. We need them to be talking about things a little bit more. We have said that. We need them to help us, don't we?
Yeah.
So I then started thinking, okay, I'm going to post that in my customer group. Who am I going to aim it to? And then I was like, right, I am going to write that post in my football mum chat. So both of my football mum chats, which have got other consultants in, okay, George is in one of them, and I've got two girls in my team, Emma and oh my God, my brain's gone blank. Emma and Lauren, they are both in the other chat. I was like, no, I'm putting this post in there, right? So I put the post about scent packs. And suddenly I was thinking, I must put a scent pack in the boys' football boot bags because they stink. And then all of a sudden I was like, hold on a minute. I bought football kits off of this guy. Dan is some of you might know him. He's called Essex Kits. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. I'll tell you what it is because I did promise him. If any of you need football kits, this is the man to go to. Hold on, let me just find it. Essex Kit. Hold on. His name is Daniel Radmore, and I bought some kits off him at Christmas. Some of you guys may already be on his page. I bought football kits for Artie for Christmas. So I messaged him and I said, Daniel, Artie absolutely love those Essex football kits, his pages. So if you need football kits, get on the page. It's a good page. I said to him, Artie absolutely love them football kits, by the way. He is bugging me to buy him another one. I will be in your inbox. I said, but I've got a business proposal for you. So I sent him a second voice note saying to him, if I send you some free Scentsy, I said, I've got these scent packs. They are absolutely banging, amazing for making your football boots smell amazing. I said, do you fancy doing a bit of a collab? I said, I'll send you loads of freebies if you advertise me in your page, his page has got 5,000 football mums in there that are all target marketed to buy in football kits. He come back to me, he was like, Lisa, this is how he talks. I was, Lisa Allwoods, what a business pitch was that? Yes, I love it. Let's do a collab. So, and there's other people in there, there's other consultants in there, but no one's obviously asked him this first. So I got in there first. So he has said to me, yep, and he's going to share my customer group. He's going to share the post tomorrow afternoon. And I've set him up his own link as well. I don't know him. I've literally just bought from him. I've added people to his page. He will ask, I know he's going to ask me in return to add friends to his page. I'm absolutely going to do that because he's doing something for me. But I want you to think about a solution to your problem. Are you in a dog page where it's like all dog people? Are you in a dog owners group where you could be like, hold on a minute, we could do a collab here where I give them some Scentsy to be advertised in a page? Am I in a football kit page? Am I in a page that's not? Please don't do it on that one. Daniel Redmore's Essex football kits. But are you in a football kit page where you could offer the same thing? Are you in a? I don't even know. My brain. A gym page. Yes, a gym page where you're all working out together and you could offer scent packs for gym bags, for example.
A dance school, like I know when I grew up going dancing, my costume bag stunk.
Yeah, there are so many things, there are so many different things like that, which we kind of forget about because we're in the groups. We probably forget about the group. We only post in the group once every so often. Maybe we only go in there. I've also messaged the head of Essex Royals, who my boys play for, Andy, and I've said to him, Andy, can we do a bit of a collab? Like, would you be happy to? He might come back and say no, but at the end of the day, it got the creative juices flowing. I started thinking, oh my God, well, if I get posted on this page, that's potentially 5,000. Now, of course, not all of them are going to buy. Absolutely zero might buy, but a few might join my customer group out of that. A few might be, oh, I haven't got a Scentsy consultant. I need a Scentsy consultant. Well, Lisa's your girl. Message Lisa. You know that? And we're going to do it. I'm literally going to send him, I said to him, I'm going to send you the best PR package you've ever had. So clothesline all over everything, I think, is what he will be getting. So that's just another way to network with businesses that are, that may already be on your Facebook. I bet so many of you, if you go through the groups that you're in on Facebook, I started leaving groups a while back. You're in hundreds of groups where you could message the admin and see whether you could do something to work with the admin. Just make it a real solution group. Find a group that Scentsy can be a solution for. It might not, just a mum networking group might not be relatable. You might need to go down a route where you can be like, I can offer a service to you. That's what I can offer. So
I am going to talk about, again, during my team, you've heard this, but I think it's really important. It's something that a lot of the American consultants do, and it's something that has taken me asking quite a few times for this to come to fruition. But we sell a home fragrance product, right? Home fragrance. Who deals with people moving into homes? Estate agents. So, one of my good friends who I used to work with, I used to be an estate agent like a million years ago. I'd said to him ages ago, like he ended up selling our house up in Lincolnshire, and I said to him, like, I'd spoke to him about maybe having Scentsy as like a moving in. I said, like, do you buy a gift like when people move in? And now bear in mind, this was about 18 months, 2 years ago that I first asked this question. And he just said, oh, I buy him flowers and a bottle of wine. And that was it. And then I would see him like moving people in and giving them flowers and a bottle of wine. And I kept thinking, I'm going to keep asking him. So every now and again, sporadically, I would ask him. And about a month ago, he messaged me and said, right, I think I need to start buying Scentsy. Can you show me some examples of if I spent a £75 basket, a £50 basket, and a £25 basket? No, I think it's 30, 50, and 75. So I literally went to, I'll show you, they're under here. I literally went to
no, it's not Emily.
B&M. I bought some of these baskets, which obviously I'll use again. And I literally made him up some example baskets. Like one of them had like a warmer and 3 waxes. These were not stuff that I bought, by the way. This was all stuff that was in my house. And these were obviously example baskets. They weren't like things for him to take away. Oh no, the small one he did because it was a boxed fragrance flower. But anyway, so I went and met with him in that cafe that I was talking to you about as well. And he ended up
intentionally, we'll just say on that.
What's that?
I said very intentional though, Laura, right? Very intentional.
Extremely. When he said, because he said, "Oh, I can pop round," I was like, "No, no, no, I'll meet you in town somewhere." And yeah, so anyway, long story short, after about 18 months, 2 years of me planting that seed, he bought the fragrance flower, smaller basket from me. And then now every time a house is going to complete or a tenant is going to move in, not Spencer Gilbert, no, Anthony Buck. I do know Spencer Gilbert as well, but no, not him. Gilbert and Rose would be a good one to get in. If anyone else knows Spencer, put it to him. Like I've known Spencer for a lot of years since he
Him
worked for
before,
her.
Laura, didn't you? I remember you asking him before.
Yeah, I have asked Spencer, but if you've got a relationship with Spencer, Emily, ask him because Gilbert and Rose are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I see them yellow boards everywhere, so they'd be an amazing one to get in. I've obviously got this collaboration now with Lawrence Anthony Holmes, and I'm going to kind of stay with them for the moment. But like, there's so many estate agents. Jem Davey, I don't know if you're on here. When I'd come back from that meeting and was like absolutely buzzing, and when he decided he was going to go for it, the next morning she voice noted me and said, "Laura, I've been really brave. I've been into like 4 local estate agents on my high street. Nobody said yes yet, but 2 of them had taken my email. I took like basically they'd exchanged contact details and she was going to follow up with them. So don't be disappointed if you get a no, first of all. Like I said, he said he didn't even say no, first of all. He kind of went, "Oh yeah, I'll have a think about it." And then nothing happened. But I asked him a few more times, and now it's come. Obviously, everything that goes in there, I literally created like a little card on Canva and everything that was in there had my contact details and my sticker. Obviously, for GDPR, he can't give me his client's contact details. However, my contact details are going to be in all these baskets that are going into people's homes when they move in. So the amount of people that they're potential new customers for Try and Scentsy. So make sure. Lauren always says he won't agree to any sense consultant because he knows so many of them. Okay, he's just one. I mean, like I said, Gilbert and Rose would be amazing, but there's lots more estate agents. Okay, so like just ask the question. That was just another example. Hairdressers, again, another like there's like Lee said, there's so many.
You've just got your services. You've got to find business
Yeah,
that run a service that have got a footfall of customers coming through and think about, have you asked them if you can work and collab with them? You've got to think all the time is, how can I get into somebody else's network? They've already got a network. How can I get into that network? Whether it's 50 people or 100 people. So, these are things to be thinking outside of, like, hairdressers, dentists, doctors, you could literally list estate agents.
I've got a box in my friend's ear. They do like ear syringing, and he used to work for like an ear clinic. And his receptionist has now ordered from me, and I did get a website order that came from a sample that somebody picked up in there. And the answer will
I was
always be no
gonna
until
say, and when you're putting in boxes of samples, I've had a lot of people message me saying, "Lisa, I've run with this idea and I've put boxes of samples and I'm getting nothing." And if you've had a box of samples in there for a month and you've not had one single order, I would be getting the box back
yeah,
and try another place. And if all the samples are gone, you know that you're not going to be using that. You won't go back to that place again. But I also think you've also got to do the work with the host, the people that have got it in there. You've got to tell them what you want them to do.
yeah.
You've got to tell them, give out the samples to people and write their names down and give me a list of names and numbers. Because if you're just, letting it happen willy-nilly, that then there's got to be a little bit more intentionality to it if you want these things to actually turn into actual orders. Because everyone loves a freebie, right? We all walk past the free sample people and take a cocktail stick of free
Yeah, yeah.
cheese or whatever in the supermarket. But we don't always necessarily get that follow up. So that's, if these businesses that are services, you've got to have a way of going back in there and, and making sure you're coaching them with what you want them to do. That is like a must. It is a must. Definitely. Okay, so
Okay.
other things I've got on my list, obviously
Yeah,
parties.
yeah.
Emma and Claire both commented with the amount of customers they have had through having parties. I'm not going to bang on about parties because there is so much training on parties, but here's a serious question for you that I want you to ask yourself. Like, honestly, and this is going to be a similar question to like when I asked you about referrals at the beginning. If you are honest, how many of your customers this month have you asked to have a new season party? And I'm not talking about sending a WhatsApp broadcast out to everybody and being like, "That's it. I've asked everybody if they want to have a party." I mean, actual physical one-to-ones. For example, I stood on my customer's doorstep today. She went, "Oh my God, I absolutely loved borrowing that bag." She said, "I really enjoyed it." She said, "Unfortunately, my sister and my mum wasn't very well, so I haven't been able to share it with them." And I said to her, "Well, why don't just let me know when you're seeing them next, and I'll either drop the bag off." I said, "Or why don't we do a little party and we can have some prosecco and have a little smell?" And she went, "Oh, a lot of prosecco." And I was like, "Yeah, a lot of prosecco. I'm in." I was like, "What do you fancy it?" And she was like, "Yeah, let me think about that." So we had that conversation on the doorstep. So if you're saying zeros right now, or ones or twos, I imagine at some point you've probably said, "None of my customers want to party." You've probably said that line, okay? If you're honest with yourself, okay? Look inside and be like, "Yeah, I've said that line." And if you have, that's where you're going wrong. You haven't asked enough people. Your task it should be to ask every single local customer. Obviously, further afield customers a little bit more difficult, but ask every single local customer if they would like to have a party. And personally, I would do it by voice note. Don't do it by just text. And that should be a personalized text. "Hey, like Sarah, I hope you're well. I know you like a glass of bubbles like I do. Do you fancy having a Prosecco and Sensi night at your house?" Keep it really simple, really to the point, but ask the questions. And don't be scared to do a party because, someone says yes, all you're doing is taking the kit round there and you're going to smell the waxes with them. You don't need all singing or dancing party
No.
names unless they ask for that. Um, Claire Larkin is going to do a live at some point on a party that she had, which just looked sensational, by the way. And I know Emma did an amazing live in Scent Squad and Glitter Sparkle this week. Thank you very much, Em, on the party that she had also. So if you haven't watched that back, go back and have a little watch of it. Because honestly, I really think that most of you, the reason you're not getting parties is probably down to the fact that you're not asking enough people. Yes, some of you are
100%.
going to be like, "Oh, I have." But again, sometimes it needs repeating. Sometimes you've got to have that conversation over and over again.
And also, like Lisa said, don't worry that it's got to be like a big event and loads of planning. Like I literally had a coffee morning last Monday, and we'd literally planned it like a few days before. And when I got there, she'd invited a few people. There was me and the host and one other person, and we still had a lovely morning. And she baked a cake. And I got about £150 in orders that like from those two, because even the hostess was like, "I still just want the toadstool one. I'm going to order that right now and put it through my party." But then what she did is because I literally loved it when I walked in, she had like toadstools everywhere. She had like toadstool cushions. I was like, "Oh, guess what you're going to be ordering." Um, anyway, so I then shared that, tagged her in. And then her friend, one of our mutual friends, lives up in Chester. Within about an hour, she had placed an order on my PWS for the toadstool warmer because she'd seen it on Tracy's party link. And then she sent that out to her friends. I've had one more PWS on that link, and she's actually agreed to, I need to actually book it in with her, but she's actually agreed to have like a Facebook party for like other people, like set up a customer group, set up a group and do a Facebook Live for other people that couldn't join. So don't think it's got to be like a massive all singing or dancing event, because the actual first initial coffee morning, I was at her house for 2 hours, ate a piece of carrot cake, drank some coffee, but still came away with some orders. But obviously it's how I've then coached her and like moved on going forward.
I will just add on that as well, Laura. Like I feel like we've got to be asking. That is the main thing,
100%.
isn't it? We've got
Yeah.
to be asking, and it doesn't need to be, as you say, all big, all singing, all dancing. It doesn't matter if there's only a couple of people there. Emma said, "Just rock up with my pots." I've done that before, like to people's houses. Like if I'm going somewhere, I take
Woo!
pots with me. I will just add on. Laura said about doing a Facebook party. I haven't done it yet, but something that Carla Hunter
One of them, thank
trained
you.
on recently was a 30-minute party on Facebook. And this is something that I'm going to try. I've never had huge success with Facebook parties, but I don't think I've done enough of them. So my plan is I've had actually quite a bit of interest in these, probably about 4 or 5 customers that have said yes. Um, how they sort of work, just to give you a rough overview, and I haven't done one yet, is it's 30 posts in 30 minutes. You schedule one post every minute to go off in a Facebook group. So you would have to do the host coaching first. Like, for example, Laura, you're going to have a party for me, right? I've got 10, Laura's got 10 friends. She invites those 10 friends to the group. I'm going to message those like, I'm going to post in there, let them know when the party's going to start. We're going to be in agreement. She's going to tell me, Laura's going to say, right, okay, Saturday, 8 o'clock, we are kicking off. So I know that I'm going to schedule all the posts between 8 and 8:30. Okay. At the end of that party, at the end of that 30 minutes, I am then going to inbox all of those 10 people that come and be like, hey, you've just seen me on the 30-minute party. Is there anything you would like to order? I'm going to be closing this order off in 2 days. And it's literally a simple, yeah, it's very similar to like a showcase, Emma. But it's literally 30 posts. So you've got to have those 30 posts planned, ready to go. But what Carla said, that her parties went from being like roughly just about an active order, she said, to almost double into a 500 PRV order. And she said it purely was down to I had people's attention for that amount of time. She said 30 minutes people are willing to give you. Whereas when you're doing it over a week and you're posting like slowly over the course of the
Yeah.
week, you lose people's attention, right? And people are a little bit like, whereas if they know it's happening, I personally would set up like a WhatsApp group or a messenger group with them all in it to remind them I'm doing that party. You could even do it in Facebook or Messenger. That it's just whether they're going to want a post a minute going off in Messenger. There's no reason why you couldn't do like a WhatsApp group, turn off all notifications. This is what I was thinking. So they're going to get the 30 messages, and then you turn on commenting at the end so that they can literally be like, right, I'd like to order this, I'd like to order this, I'd like to order this. And that way you've got names and numbers. And I think that's an easy way. But I also really want people on Facebook as well, so I can get them into my customer group, because I do think they won't always buy in a party. But when I do a Tenner Tuesday bag, or I might do a mystery bag or a VIP box or sample club, they might jump on that. So
Totally. People are watching. Like people are watching, and this literally just came to my mind base when you said that. And I'm not that out of the two of us, I would definitely say that Lisa, this is her forte, but I do understand like the methods behind it. Basically about like Instagram or social media and why it's so important. And I had this conversation with my new team yesterday because she was like, right, I'm going to just set up a separate Instagram just for my Scentsy. And I was like, don't do that. Don't do that. Because people need to see you, the person, and integrate Scentsy into your life. And let's talk about Instagram first of all. So the reason we say like, oh, Lisa obviously trains a lot more than I do on Instagram, but like when you're sharing things on Instagram, you want to be sharing about you and your life and your hobbies. And like, so I'll share about the gym and sunrises and walking my dog and my kids and all the things that I love. And then people might end up following me or reacting or, relating to me because of that. And then if I share Scentsy in my stories or share a post on Scentsy, then they're like, oh yeah, she sells Scentsy as well. So you need to be, when you're sharing on social media, sharing things that are relatable to other people. And that's why when we always say like about being authentic and sharing your real life, it's to draw people in. And that's why however many Scentsy consultants is almost irrelevant, because who is someone that's going to relate to me isn't necessarily going to be the same person that's going to relate to Lisa, that's going to relate to Natasha, that's going to relate to Charlotte. And then they get to know you, the person, and then they see that you share Scentsy as well. So do you get like, and I'll be honest, I more grew my business on Facebook than Instagram, and I use Instagram a lot more now. But you need to be like a professional networker in like real life. Then you become friends on social media. Then they end up following you. A perfect example is because I had an order from somebody today. I used to have a caravan in Caister in Norfolk, and when I bought that caravan, I was added into like an owners group, and I'd started to obviously build connect. I didn't tell any of them for ages that I was a Scentsy consultant. I probably did, but felt like ages. I didn't tell them. I didn't tell them on the first day, basically. But what I mean is, I started to get to know these people first of all, and then I started to add them as friends, like separately, and then obviously they then started to buy from me. But we had that connection through the caravan. Like that's why So what I mean is, like, share on social media. Make sure you're not just spamming like Scentsy like all the time. You need to share your real life and share your passions and your loves, and then people will relate to that, and then they'll see.
I'm just going to say something about Instagram, guys. Do not post ever. This is a rule, like a cardinal rule. Never ever post a stock image. And by stock image, I mean anything off the workstation on your grid. on Instagram. If I ever see it, I am going to message you and tell you to remove it. I personally would never post
Yeah.
just even a still image of a warmer, a couple of bars of wax, your mystery bags. None of that should be going on your grid on Instagram. If that's
No.
going on your grid on Instagram, you're using it wrong. Okay, the only thing that should be going on your grid on Instagram, and you can put like images on there, but even an image of a warmer, I can tell you now, people, unless it's in a room that is like a styled room or in a room in your house, people are more likely to like stop and look at that. However, you want to be making reels about your life, and you just weave Scentsy in there. And if you need examples of that, go and look at what I've been doing for the last 3 months. And it's gradually becoming quite second nature and quite easy. It's not easy. Like walking around with my tripod and it filming me all around my house doing mundane jobs like my washing and my changing my wax and cleaning my floors. But believe it or not, how many of you guys spend hours watching people clean their bathrooms, watching Mrs. Hinch write her name in her soap suds? How many of you watch people on Instagram pull their washing out of the washing machine, put their washing back in the washing machine? You can use Scentsy while you're doing those things. You can use Scentsy while you're cleaning, but people want to see what you're just doing with your everyday life. And if you start doing that and don't care about the people that are already following you, don't care about your friends or your family or anybody else, just start doing that type of content. I can promise you, you will start to get more. I'm getting people following me that I'm like, and they're commenting on stuff, and I don't know who they are. And gradually, the Scentsy is starting to, I'm weaving it in. Did you do real training at all? I have. It's on my YouTube. Also go and follow. If you're not following Jackie Richards, I will die on that hill. Go and follow her because I am doing her reels training, which is phenomenal. I've learned a lot, and I am going to do some more. I'm thinking maybe in April I will do like a 4-part um Instagram training for you all on everything that I've learned and just really give you, or I will give you everything that I've paid for, basically. I will give you hooks, the sounds, the reels, the lot. I will give you everything. But it literally is as simple as people want to just watch your everyday life. Okay. And in that, you can video yourself changing your Scentsy wax. And that is when it starts to happen. Like you'll be cleaning and someone say to you, "What's that lamp in the background? What's that light in the background? Where can I buy that?" And then you message them and you say, "Oh, I can sell you that." Or they start to actually pay attention to your stories. And in your stories, suddenly they'll be watching. Kelly, I've just seen you're on here. I bet you posting your pole dance stories or your pole dance on Instagram. If you're not doing that, you need to be doing that because there will be people that, that would be one thing for you. I would be posting that because I would go and watch you do that. I do watch your Facebook ones when you post them on Facebook. And I'm always like, oh, she's really good. I think the strength that it takes. So other people would watch that. They get the most views, right? So if you can integrate, like, come with me to go pole dancing today. When I get home, I change my Scentsy wax and you keep that reel at 40 seconds. I guarantee you'll start selling more Scentsy. Because
Definitely.
people are coming for another reason. Anyway, that's a whole nother training. But yes,
Yeah.
social media, guys, is like you've got to be putting yourself out there on a public profile.
Yeah, sorry, that was kind of what I was saying is don't just spam. If you feel like you want to sell Scentsy on social media, don't just spam stock images because that's not going to work. You need to show you the person and then, like Lisa said,
Even real life images, I think it's all right now. I think Facebook definitely you can get away with images, but real life images of warmers and stuff like that, I wouldn't even put all of that on. I wouldn't go and follow like an Arbonne page or a Tropic page that just had only Tropic picture thing.
no.
I want to watch somebody use the product. I want to watch their life. I want to follow them because they wear nice clothes and stuff like that. Does that make sense? In that sense. I feel like we're running out of time logs. We've
Yeah,
got
no, I know.
going over.
I think, yeah, parties, borrow bags, be intentional with your borrow bags. Like again, this isn't going to be like a whole borrow bag training. There's loads of training out there that we've both done on borrow bags. But again, be intentional with it. The amazing grid that Lisa shared the other day that's literally got like dates, like 2 days, 2 days, 2 days. Make sure you're asking when you're picking it up, make sure it's got somebody else. Katrina McLean is an amazing one for this. I think I don't know. Tell me in the comments, Katrina, what date are you booked up to? It's literally booked out like back to back to back to back to back, for like the next month or something. But be intentional with it. As soon as you've got it back, who can I ask? Like, would you like to borrow my whiff bag or my fans or whatever? But yeah, make sure you are utilizing the kit that you have.
And probably with all of this, guys, all of these things, you could do all of these things. Your top thing that you want to be doing uh, with all of this are getting people's numbers,
Yeah,
email addresses, or into your VIP customer group.
yeah,
They are like your main goals. If you can get them into any of those three places, then you eventually can turn them into a customer. And you
yeah.
can do that through, if I add lots of people into my customer group, I'm going to spend time inboxing them, getting to know them, adding them as a friend on Facebook. Every single one of my customers, I follow on Instagram and I add as a friend on Facebook.
Yeah.
They are all added, every single one of them.
I think the main thing is just to understand that like every day, every week, like we said at the beginning, you need to think bigger than the customers that you have and get out of your mind that there's no one else for you to sell Scentsy out there. Because when you actually understand how many human beings there are in this world, like there is so much opportunity out there every day, and you just have to make sure that you're always basically be thinking, who can I speak to this week that doesn't know that I'm a Scentsy consultant? Who can I speak to that's going to know somebody that's going to know somebody that's going to know somebody? Always kind of like have your Scentsy glasses on. That's the word I was looking for. Always have your Scentsy glasses on. And even if, again, this is where Lisa said about habit stacking and consistency, you're not going to get, like the reality is you're not going to get 5 new customers every day, right? But if you consistently every month are adding 1 to 2, I like I said, we always aim for more. But if we're consistently adding 1 to 2 new customers every month to your email list, WhatsApp, customer group, whatever it may be, you are starting to build your network. And then what will happen is they will fall in love with it, and then they will tell people, and then they will fall in love with it. And it takes time. It's not just going to happen. But if you're doing it consistently, the problem is people will do these things. Again, it's that word like being intentional. People will do these things for like a couple of weeks and then they'll stop. And
You've
then,
got to block it out. And this is why we trained on ChatGPT though, right? Because
yeah,
you can now go and schedule your posts for the next month if you really want to, using ChatGPT, which won't take you very long. And that gives you more time to then go and do things like this. You can then block out, right, I've got an hour this week. What am I going to do? Right, 20 minutes of that, I am going to do referrals. 20 minutes of that, I am going to network. 20 minutes of that, I'm going to find groups and find a collab that I can work with. And
and
like,
what
it's got to become a habit.
Yeah, 100%. And what I was just going to say was the way you have to start thinking about your Scentsy business, if you don't already, is if you have another job, if you have another job outside of Scentsy, if you didn't turn up to that job and do the tasks that were asked of you and required of you in your job description, you wouldn't get paid. And after a while, you wouldn't have a job. It's exactly the same with Scentsy. If you don't turn up for yourself and do the tasks that are required for your Scentsy business, eventually you will have a Scentsy business. And it's exactly the same. And that is why I know we've both grown our businesses to the level that it is our full-time business, and that was our choice. But that's because we treat it like our full-time job. We turn up every day and work our business. And whatever level you want to do it on, whether you want it to get active, whether you want to do it to get active, whether you want to sponsor, whether you want to get to 2,500, if you're not actually doing the tasks, you're not actually a Scentsy consultant, like you're not actually working. So it's just really important to make it a habit and be intentional, whether that's putting things on your phone, whether you're a pen and paper kind of person like me, but again, printing off the tracker, like putting something in front of you to make you do the task, time blocking, whatever works for you, but you need to make sure you're doing it consistently.
Cool. Right, I feel like on that note, we are well over our hour. So
Yeah.
you guys have stuck with us and we've started to lose people.
Thank you so much.
Thank
We
you
are going to
for your
keep,
time.
yeah, we are going to keep sharing ideas, guys. There's going to be so much more coming, like loads of ideas coming every day because we want to help you like absolutely smash this season.
Absolutely. We hope this has been useful. Hopefully, some new ideas in there, some ideas that you haven't heard before. Actually, I think it was quite fresh considering.
Yeah.
And we will catch up with you guys all soon. If you've got questions about networking or something that's working for you, please, please, please share it in the bigger groups. Share
Oh,
it in
yeah.
Slack or
I
share
will
it in
share.
Discord. Share, 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 because you never know who's watching that you're going to inspire in our team. On that note, guys, we will catch you soon.
Lots of love.
Lots of love and thanks for your time. Bye bye.
Bye.